All right, let's go.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be a pretty poisonous topic where the only winning move is not to play in regards to covering the H3 versus iDubbbz lawsuit. But sometimes you put your hand on the stove to see if it's still hot. And boy howdy is it ever. Like I've always said, I treat this channel like a diary. I just blabber about things that I feel like talking on, just sitting in my chair, kicking my little 5'6" petite leggies around and just giving my thoughts from the old steel trap up here on it. And one topic I've always covered is creator lawsuits. So, when I heard about the H3 versus iDubbbz defamation
I
case,
will say, I know I already said this 2 seconds ago, but it was really funny that I had a bunch of people in my replies being like, uh, why the hell would Moist Critical cover your lawsuit? He never covers creator lawsuits. It's like, and then here he is saying, I always cover creator lawsuits. It's like, why were there fans in my replies saying that other shit, man? Like, what the hell? Hey, huh?
I wanted to take a peek into it, sink my teeth in there and see what's going on, because that is a pretty wild thing to learn about. And learn about it I did like a little scholar. It was a new lawsuit. It was only public knowledge for like 24 hours, so I did as much research on it as I could and watched the iDub stream that started, that is like the main catalyst of it. I watched the H3 stream where he explains his lawsuit, and I talked to both parties, iDubbbz and Ethan, to try and get the clearest, most complete picture of everything going on here. And then I just gave you my view on it from the old Floridian homunculus eyes. And I think I've always made it abundantly clear you're always welcome to disagree with me. I've always kept that door wide open because I actually value differences of opinion. I hate echo chambers. I spit on that constantly. I actively shut down the idea that you have to agree with everything I say or else I hate you. You're tacky and I hate you. Throughout all my content, from the womb to the tomb, I have always welcomed discussion and people having a difference of opinion because, as I've always said, I think when you surround yourself with sycophants and you only lock yourself into one way of viewing things, you do yourself a disservice. I think it is a bad thing to just be constantly locked in a bubble. Now, the reason I mention that,
Dude, it's almost like, it's almost adorable. You guys know any, like, unsavvy political people? And it's like, oh, you're so, you're so adorable. You got it, buddy. You got it. Keep going. That's how I feel. It's just, it's, I don't know how to explain it well. Uh, I just don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to explain it well. It's just like, you just need like a pat on the head, little buddy. You got it. You can do it. Uh, uh,
is because I made the mistake, I committed the old sin of taking a peek at what the discussion was around this video on, like, Reddit and Twitter, which something I haven't done in quite a few moons now. I was expecting, like, actual discussion because I'm new to this topic and I wanted to see, okay, well, what are some things that I didn't know about? What can I learn about here and dive deeper on? And there was some very valid critiques and some information that I could get my hands on and learn more about. But boy howdy, there was a lot of hoopla that I couldn't have even imagined would be like a controversial thing. And there were people that were proudly stating they didn't watch the video and then getting angry at things they assumed I might have said in it, or attacking me for things that
he's so earnest. He hasn't had one singular, like, flavorful analogy or like metaphor. Like, he's just, it's like, it's almost adorable how earnest he's being. He's like, guys, no, I cover stuff on the internet. I just try to be fair. It's kind of giving I'm just a girl. I feel like I just bullied an adult man. I don't know. I don't, it's like when Thanos lost his powers. It's like if okay, if Homelander wasn't a homicidal maniac, it's like watching him like jump and he's like that's how I feel like I'm like, no, Charlie, it's okay. You can go back to your flavorful narrative. It's okay.
Never said that aren't in the video because they didn't watch it, or they're replying to someone who's just actually making shit up that
Homicidal. Sorry.
that they're pulling out of their ass that I never said. So it just feels fucking useless to even engage in the topic in that case. Like, it's so odd. Like, one that I didn't expect was just me mentioning that I'm not online as much as I used to be was apparently like a highly debated topic.
The guy whose entire career is front running whatever's going viral is saying that he doesn't know what's going on the internet. All right. I mean, obviously, we got to take his word for it, right? Let's see what videos he's been making.
You know what? I'm going to say something. You know what, Moist Critical? I have hereby dubbed you not a misogynist. You are free to go. Do not collect 200, but you can pass go. All right? Because let me say, Mike here has way more colorful language than I do. And all of my opinions are tempered language-wise and presentation-wise because I get clipped all the time because people love to hate women on the internet. So allow me to say something, which is finally, someone is clipping Mike and talking about Mike's language instead of clipping me. So you know what? Not a misogynist. Here you go. You got the label, not a misogynist. You're free to go. Not a feminist either. Not even an egalitarian. But you're free to go. All right? Because, like, for example, let me say the Emeru stuff, I really did not say much at all, okay? All I said was, aren't there some things that are so important that you should have an opinion about them as an adult who votes in this country or can vote in this country? Like, imagine asking someone, like, in Nazi Germany, like, hey, do you have any opinions about, like, the Nazis? Or asking someone, like, in Poland about it, and they're like, no, I just don't really get politically involved. Yeah, I'm, like, in my late 20s. I just don't, I just don't care about politics like that. Like, that would be an insane thing. Like, that would be crazy. Like, I started showing up at people's doors and grabbing people off the street. And sometimes they're grabbing, like, citizens, and then they're just, like, dumping them in parking lots. They grab that one Target, that teenager in Target who has his papers, who's, like, literally a U.S. citizen, and they just grabbed him and threw him in a fucking Walmart parking lot. Like, you should care about that happening in your country, man. Even if you don't do politics, politics is doing you, and they're doing you raw. Like, you should care. And that's what I said, which was a very reasonable stance. And let me tell you guys, Mike's coverage of Emeru was scalding hot, okay? It was insane, and nobody cared, all right? So I have to say one thing, one bit of credit to Charlie, which is at long last, finally, I am catching a break around here, okay? Because I don't even say crazy. I'm not even screaming on my streams, man. Like, bro.
Lego.
Didn't he just drop this video and you only just publicly reacted to the first one, so you might not have picked up your reaction had been up? Well, yeah, but I have that, like, clip of me that, like, went semi-viral where it was me saying, like, come on, you cowards, talk about the lawsuits.
Watch Mojo got even more pathetic. Degenerate cringe. Lego vigilantes. Lego scandal keeps getting messy. But responds to the Lego scandal. Lego scandal is getting extremely dangerous and scary. Cringe officer embarrasses himself. Lego scandal keeps getting crazier.
The gist of it is, when I was talking about the defamation lawsuit, I also mentioned that Ethan has other active lawsuits against other creators, and I mean,
let me say something. And I've already said this since day one. He just doesn't touch the topics that he knows are nuclear. And I think that that's a fault. I think Charlie should be a little bit, I'm going to say my genuine opinion on Charlie, okay? If you want to clip something, you can clip something. I think he should be a little bit more brave, and he has opinions, he just doesn't share the opinions, because that's how every single creator online who doesn't share their opinions feels, okay? All of these people, all of these content creators, they have opinions. And if your opinion is, you don't fuck with me, and you think the lawsuits are based or whatever, say that with your full chest. Like, I'm not going to get mad at someone for saying that they think I should be sued. There's like 40 YouTubers who've made half their career off of doing that. Like, honestly, I see some of these YouTube channels. I'm like, you got it, little buddy, you got it. Like the guy Lus or whatever, he has like so many videos talking about my lawsuits. Like, you got it, little buddy. Keep going, keep going. It's like adorable to watch. It's like, you know what, man? Sure, why not? Why not? Go ahead and do whatever farming you need to do, little buddy. So like, yeah, if like, let me wrap up the point that I'm trying to make, which is Charlie has a tendency to pick topics that he thinks the majority of people will agree with him, so he can maintain this like 90-10 like to dislike ratio because he doesn't want to be in controversy. But I think he should respect himself and he should respect his audience's intelligence and recognize that whether he wants to be or not, he is an influencer. He influences people to have opinions. I've seen him influence people to have opinions that were controversial. I've seen him defend women and have his audience proceed to defend women. Like, whether he wants it to be the case or not, like, Charlie, you literally are an influencer and you influence your opinion, or you influence your audience's opinions. So stand on business and respect your audience's intelligence enough to stand on business. Doesn't mean all the time you have to stand on business, but when you think it's something that's important, stand on business. Like, you're moist critical, man. Like, say what you want to say. Speak your shit, bro. Like, you are literally the shit talker on the internet. Do it. Respect your audience's intelligence enough to say what you mean. And if that is that you don't like me and you don't like my lawsuit, then say that. And if it's that you don't like Ethan and you don't like his lawsuit, then say that. You know? Like, be critical. Be moist. That's you, man. That's you, and that's what you should say, and that's how you should feel. Because your audience respects you. That's why they watch you. You're not like XQC, who like people watch him because they're like, oh, look, the zoo animal is being a zoo animal again. Everyone throw peanuts at him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be that guy. Be him. You can be him. So do that. Stand on business and say what you want to say because you do impact your audience and your audience clearly respects you. That's why they watch every single video because they think that you will be reasonable and you will have the correct opinion. So show them that you can have the correct opinion. Be critical, be moist. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. And if that means he makes 40 videos calling me the most vile fucking human being, you know what? That's life. That's the internet. I'm not going to hold it against anyone. All right? I'm not going to hold it against anyone. I don't care. And if that is making 40 videos on Ethan being like, he's the worst person, he's a vile fucking human being, then do that. Then do that. But don't be this. This is like drought critical. This is drought critical. You should be moist. You should be more. This is, what's like the antonym of critical? Uncritical. Is there a better word for uncritical? Trivial, nominal, agreeable, passive. Yeah, maybe one of those. Yeah, don't be, you know, like don't be dry, arid. What is it? There was one that I liked a lot. Whatever, you guys get the idea. Arid, agreeable, boo. Bring back moist critical, yay! You know? Come on. Come on. Oh, I guess milk toast, yeah. Yeah. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. All right? That's my opinion. I have a lot of opinions people disagree with, and that's okay with me. And I think, you know, well, that's it.
Him the Nintendo of YouTubers because he's become extremely litigious. But I didn't dive into those other lawsuits because I didn't know much about them. And that claim is apparently extremely hard to believe because everyone thinks... I
mean, I believe that he didn't know anything about them besides the fact that they were happening. And he didn't want to look at them because that sounds like a headache. Like, who wants to be the person, like, on YouTube prior to, like, the tentative ruling defending 3 women on the internet who are kind of loudmouths? Like, listen, I'll stand on business. I'm a loudmouth. Okay? I don't know why people think it's controversial. I know I speak my shit. I know I'm a shit talker. I get it, okay? Casey Tron too, all right? She won't deny it. She likes to speak on business, okay? What was I saying? Oh, so I believe that. I believe that he didn't read them because, first of all, it's a 70-page filing, and most of it is nonsense, okay? Most of it is like, here's a photo of Hassan, and here's a photo of the Grand Mufti meeting up with Hitler. It's like, fucking Christ. I had to read the lawsuit because it's my lawsuit, and I didn't want to read that lawsuit. It's so long. It's so long. It's just, What was I saying? So I believe that. And also it's like, it's such a, like, there are like very few YouTube channels that are like willing to defend fair use by inadvertently defending 3 women on the internet who are, they like to open their mouths and say things that upset people.
Assumes that I am terminally online like I used to be 2 or 3 years ago. But when I said that's not the case, there are quite a few people that just don't believe me.
People.
Behind, thank you for the 25 gift subs. Thanks. Listen, let me say something else. Okay, there is a massive difference between being online and being terminally online. Being terminally online means that like your mental health is being negatively impacted by the internet because you're over consuming it. But you can be consuming the internet in a great deal and not be over consuming it. Like, I will be real, every single time my Twitch tracker, not Twitch tracker, the like Twitch recap at the end of the year comes in, I've watched like 20 hours of Twitch. Like, I don't watch a lot of streams. I don't. I have to clock in, like, I like end stream, I'll like work out, I try to record some content for Instagram, and then I usually, if I have free time, I spend the rest of the time playing video games with my friends. Or I go outside to hang out with my friends. I woke up yesterday, I had a bunch of work to get to, and then I went on a hike with a friend. So, like, I get it, like, but I'm pretty online because I know what's happening for the most part. Although there's some stuff that I don't keep up with. I know that what's happening, like, it would be crazy if I didn't know. I'm online enough that I know. I know of it at least.
Unfathomable moment, so it must be a lie. So here's a streamer debunking by going through my channel and noticing I've posted a lot of videos on Lego, for example, because of the big Lego scandal, which I think is a very interesting example to use off the point he's making about me front-running every viral story. Because with the Reckless Bin versus Bricks and Minifigs Lego scandal, I actually was getting called out for avoiding that and ignoring it because I was late to covering it. Reckless Bin dropped part 1 on May 21st. And I heard about it from Stream Chat, and then a friend sent it to me as well, and I made my video covering it on May 26th, 5 days later, but in that interim, people were saying I was avoiding the topic. I just find it fascinating how, if I cover something quickly or extensively, like in the case of the Lego scandal, that's a problem. I'm just front-running shit to capitalize off the virality of it.
Tough titties, bro. Tough titties, man. I'm sorry. That unfortunately, when you become even a little bit like the newsman on the internet, that's tough, man. That's tough. I get that all the time where it's like, it's interesting that you didn't cover this. It's like, first of all, I did cover this. Okay. Excuse me. Second, sorry, I didn't immediately cover it. Oh my goodness. So like, it's tough, man. When you're the person that's supposed to be like breaking stories, even if they're just like fun stories, a bunch of people will just get mad. Like, that's just like, right? Let me see something. Wait, there was someone that I read the message. I like the guy. There's no way he never heard of the whole thing Ethan's been up to, including losing your lawsuit, harassing smaller creators. I'm going to be the outlier. I don't think he's being dishonest. He didn't know after the initial wave. No one really talked about it, but up until the tentative ruling, he bought a farm and is not online nearly as much anymore. Lego became a national story. Ben is way bigger than Ethan. Well, yeah, but he was covering the Reckless Ben story before it became more national news. If anything, I think he propelled it into national news, right? I would say the most good faith interpretation, and also what I genuinely believe, is he saw the lawsuits, saw the shitstorm associated with the lawsuits, and decided he didn't want that smoke. He saw like, oh, Ethan Klein is suing Denims, Casey Tron, and Frogan, and was like, no, I'm not touching that with like a 10-foot pole. No. And arguably, those lawsuits were way more visible to him than the IDubbbz lawsuit. Because the IDubbbz lawsuit, the only way that people found out about it was like from like 1 or 2 Ian's like streaming about it, and then like one Ethan Klein stream about it. Whereas like my lawsuits, or like my lawsuit and Casey's and Frogan's lawsuit, we got a full-length video. A full-length H3 Productions video. So like the idea that he didn't hear about it, or he just, like, didn't know about it, it's like, no. You knew about it, you just like didn't feel like looking into it because it looked like a fucking mess. Which you would be right, it was a fucking mess. It is a fucking mess. I believe him when he says he doesn't really know that much. Because like most people who have picked the side don't even know that much. I mean, I run into people, there are people that come in, and I don't mean this harshly, or I don't mean this in a rude way. There are people that were coming in like every day being like, are you going to do like an anti-slap motion, that don't even know it's a federal lawsuit, so I can't do that. I can't like file an anti-slap motion because it is a federal lawsuit. So like, I believe that he doesn't know anything beyond that it exists, but that's choosing to not take a stance because it's too much work to take a stance. In which case, like, I mean, like, I get it. Like, I do.
But if I am late to covering something, well, that means that I was avoiding it and I must have known about it the whole time and had ulterior motives to avoid the topic out of cowardice, and I only talk about it when pressed. Feels like a lose-lose. If I'm too quick to something or too interested in something, so I make a lot of content on it, well, then I'm just there to front-run it and capitalize off it being popular. But if I'm too slow to it, well, it means I was actually avoiding it the whole time, and when I do cover it, well, it's only because people pressured me. So, where's the Goldilocks zone? I can't be too quick to something or too...
The Goldilocks zone is you don't give a fuck about what people say and you do what you want to do. And just move on. That's the truth. I don't know. Sorry. Like, people will be mad at you no matter what. Like, I could say literally anything and I'll get fucking clips and someone will be mad about it. They'll be like, you know what? Did I mention? Her camera's too big. Like, it's just, like, I just think you should cover what you want to cover and do what you want to do and fuck everybody who disagrees.
Interested in it, because that's frowned upon. But I also can't be too slow to it or not cover it at all, because then that must mean that I knew about it the whole time. I'm damn near omniscient, I guess. I see everything, and thus, if I am slow to it or don't talk about it, then there was an ulterior motive and a deeper reason that's nefarious. So where is the Goldilocks zone? I personally don't see why it's so hard to believe that, considering in a lot of the stories I cover, they have already been covered by...
Where's the Moldilocks zone? Shut up. Guys, I have to pee so fucking bad, and it's actually bothering me. Can I just go pee? Can I piss, girl? I was trying, so I was like, I can power through. I gotta remain moist for this video, but I just can't. I gotta pee so bad, chat. I gotta pee. Let me just leave you guys with a fun little, like, Okay, I'm gonna go pee.
By the time you hear the next pop, the funk shall be within you. The funk shall be within you.
Sorry, guys. It was a lot of pee. I had a lot of pee in the tank. Also, dude, what the hell? Bro, I get up for 2 seconds and you steal my fucking chair. My mayor a thief. Bagel's still Jewish, though. You mind if we share, Mayor Cat? Yeah, you better not fucking mind. God damn it. Or I'll put you in jail again. And by that, I mean I'll give you a bunch of treats and I'll squeeze you. All right. Sorry, what were we doing? Right.
Others, like Dolan Darkus, for example. Slop Live has beaten me to, like, every topic for the last year, basically. And the way I find out about a lot of the things I cover is through, like I said, friends sending it to me, or when I do stream, which isn't daily, I'm a semi-retired streamer, but when I do stream chat, putting things on my radar. And naturally, what people are probably going to be sending are the popular things, because that's what they've seen. So that's usually what I get sent. But it's not all the time either. Like on his stream, as he was scrolling around talking about how it's only like, you know, the big popular stuff, he passed multiple things that weren't. Like that video about not enough people think about this. That's about sand. It's literally just about sand and sand-related.
Again, I already said this earlier. Like, we just checked the Twitch tracker. Bro streams more often than me, by the way. Let me say that really fast. And it's not that, like, you necessarily will know everything because it's just not possible. But as someone who streams online, a lot of times I'll find stories because chat brings them to me. Like, that's the truth. Like, I don't... Like, I literally didn't even hear about this Lego stuff until chat brought it to me. Like, you guys have to understand the majority of my... Like, I get where he's coming from. I do. Because, like, I really don't... There's... And it's not even because I do it, like, on purpose. It's just I really like video games. Like, because I'm a fucking degenerate. That's the truth. I watched, like, a 4-hour video about the items in League and the current meta. Because I'm learning League of Legends. Like, I'm, like... I don't know how to explain... that I really do understand what he means by, like, you're just not online. But the problem is, and the problem that I have with that argument, maybe his chat's different. Maybe his chat is totally different and no one ever comes in and says, like, are you going to cover this? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like when you're someone who covers stories, you will end up with people telling you if you're going to cover a story. But I've never been in his chat, so... Justin, thank you so much for the 20 gift subs. What the heck? And thank you for the tier 1.
Are gone, people.
Is Denims a league chud? Dude, Mayhem is so much fun. I want to jump off of a bridge into a nice ball pit that's totally comfortable and safe. It's actually fun. It's fun. My friends keep trying to be like, let's play arena. And I'm like, I hate arena. I hate you. I don't want to read 500 paragraphs. It's always like, there's like 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, I haven't even re-rolled these cards yet. 800, 840, adaptive 4. Oh, I'll just pick this one. And they're like, why the fuck did you? Now we're going to lose. I'm like, I did so much text. It's so much text. I can't read all that text that fast. And like Blitz is not, it'll be like, this has a really high pick rate. And it's like straight up trash. I'm like, wow, thanks Blitz. It'll be like, I saw like one image that like sent me the other day. What else sent it to you guys? People who don't give a shit about League of Legends are like watching right now. They're like, stupid fucking bitches talking about this shit again. Wait, where is it? No, I didn't save it. And sometimes Blitz will recommend to you like items you should get, and it'll be like, hey, get this item. It's good against this person. And there's like a screenshot of someone being like, it's like, this item is good against people with no sustain. And straight up Vladimir is on there. It's like, thanks, Blitz. Thank you. Thanks, Blitz. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're so right. Vlad has no sustain. Correct. It's the recommended is trash sometimes. Moving on. What was I saying? Wait. So hold on a second. Oh, someone in chat wrote something. I'm just gonna, your name is cool, so I'm just gonna trust you. Dr. Pickles Nipples. If it isn't a just chatting stream, he normally spends like the first hour yapping with chat. They'll highlight the current streaming and current events. While it isn't guaranteed, it seems hard he wasn't aware of the existence. Well, like again, he said he was aware of the Snark lawsuit, right? And I don't think you can be aware of the Snark lawsuits without being aware of the other ones, because the only reason that the Snark lawsuits are proceeding is because of our cases. So it seems like it just doesn't make sense that you would know about those, but you wouldn't know about the other ones. You should know of them if you know of that one. But I believe him when he says he doesn't know that much, because he probably saw it and saw that it was like a shit show and was like, ah. Like literally, like the lawsuit against me is against me and does 1 through 10. Like it's the same lawsuit. Or rather, it's the same case. Like, they're literally being sued for contributory copyright infringement. But if there's no copyright infringement in my case, their lawsuit goes nowhere. Right? Like, you can't be aware of the Snark lawsuit without knowing about the other lawsuits, because they literally only proceed because of our lawsuits, right? That's why it says people being sued is like, it'll be like Denims and does 1 through 10, right? What were we saying? And then they're personally fighting it by pushing for a motion to quash the subpoena request or whatever. But anyways, moving back to this part. Yeah, I feel like, again, like I said, like there are so many stories that I have no idea that are happening, because I also spend a lot of my time not really looking or doom scrolling like Twitter, like legal squash. I just don't do it. Like I really do, and I really think everybody else should use social media in a way that like brings them joy. And it makes me sad knowing that some people like doom scroll, like genuinely doom scroll. I do most of my stuff on stream, and then I'll maybe spend like an hour off stream, sometimes prepping stuff that I want to talk about. But yeah, I don't do a lot of stuff outside of like that. Like I don't really doom scroll a lot. Like if you need any better evidence, go to my Twitter. You'll see like I post very rarely on my Twitter. And I try to post, like I try to come up with like bangers. Most recently, I'm glad people really like this one. It was this post that said, "The world's first male lesbian." And I said, straight up thought this was Kyle Rittenhouse. And almost 40,000 people were like, yeah, it's not. Oh, it's not. Dude, he got crazy jiggle physics, let me say. Let me just say. What makes you decide to post on main or alt? My alt Twitter is for like when I want to talk to you guys about stuff, and then my main Twitter is when I want to post things that might be bangers like this. Like this, my main Twitter is just for posting thirst traps and for posting bangers. That's my goal with my main Twitter. And my alt Twitter is like, I went to the park and I had some cake today. And it was fun. Here's a picture of my cat. Like that's what my alt Twitter is for. All right, but moving on. So like I understand and I sympathize with, and I empathize with, like, you're not online, but like, again, last time I'm going to repeat this. When you stream and you're known as someone who covers like creator drama or creator lawsuits or internet memes, people in your chat will like tell you about them, because I have a lot of people that come in chat and tell me about stuff that I had no idea was happening. The number of times that has happened is quite obscene. There are a lot of things I had no idea were happening until chat told me about them. Like the Lego thing. I didn't see the Lego thing at all until chat told me about it.
Crimes like the Sand Mafia. And he also even called out another one about ranking every item on Panda Express's menu. He used that to like belittle me about like, it's not good is the thing he was insinuating there. But it's not like a viral story. It's not like Panda Express is a huge topic you gotta strike while the iron's hot. My channel has always just been things that I'm interested in at the time. And yeah, there are a lot of stories I get sent that I do find interesting and do yap about, like the Lego scandal. But I really do miss a lot more these days than I did when I was very online all the time. Like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know like how else to prove it to you. I mean, I guess like you can look at my Twitter page and see that I have 2 tweets in like the last 2 years, or on Instagram I make like a post every month and a half, and a lot of them are just me hanging out with my farm animals. Like you can check my streaming history and see that I'm not an active streamer. Like I'm an active streamer, but I'm not streaming with the same frequency I used to, and I'm not putting in really long hours aside from when I did Destiny 2 Salvation's Edge Blind recently, which was fucking exciting, but I don't really know how else to say it. I just don't see everything that happens online, and I can't believe that's something that's apparently like a big issue,
again,
or
not to keep circling this fucking drain.
So
like,
unbelievable. Like
for the longest time, I thought you had 2 cats, 1 wormy and 1 mare. I do. Huh? Again, like I've said like a billion times, I'm like circling this drain over and over again. Like I literally stream less than him. Like, and streaming is like my full-time job, omega lol. And just by virtue of streaming often enough, like as often as I do, or more often than me, you just stay up to date on a lot of things. It's just, it's actually the coolest thing about streaming. It's the thing that I love. One of the many things I love the most about streaming is like, it's like a collection of people from different walks of life with different backgrounds and different jobs and different friends and families and social lives and homes and interests. And I can just come on and be like, guys, like, what the fuck do you do if your toilet makes this noise? And there's like 14 plumbers that are like, classic problem, you just need to do this and this and this, and then you're good to go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, got it. Cool, thanks. And sometimes I tune in and there's lots of people from different walks of life, and they're like, yeah, you should watch this video. It's really cool. It's like trending and people are talking about it. You should do this one. You should do this one. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So like there's stuff I keep up to date with, regardless of whether other people are going to keep me up to date with it. But by virtue of just streaming, like multiple, like he's literally streamed more of June than I have. By streaming as often as I do or more, you just stay up to date because a lot of people will just update you with stuff. Maybe none of his audience updates him on stuff. I don't know. I don't watch his streams. I don't partake in his chat. So I don't know.
In fact, it's embarrassing for me that people can't imagine that I'm not online all the time.
All the lazy ass fucking thumbnails. Also, he has the Asmongoldien outfit where he only wears a dirty white t-shirt in every fucking thumbnail. God, every single video is like, guys, he's gotta stay offline to make his Panda Express tier list.
Well, now you've gone way too far. How fucking dare you?
Okay. I gotta say, wait. Dirty ass white t-shirt. Let's be real. Moist Critical is the type of guy that would have like 40 of the same exact shirt. You guys ever walk into a minimalist's closet? It's the same outfit 14 times. I'm not joking. I'm sorry, that carpet behind him is too clean. That carpet behind him is way too fucking clean. Notice how there is no collection of dust near the figurines on this side of the screen, on the right side? No. Let's just say this.
I have been wearing white t-shirts, not dirty white t-shirts, by the way, pristine Jim Mint white t-shirts since high school, since Asmongold was in diapers. It's like me saying that you have a Moist Critian hair and beard combo. But anyway, now let's talk about the other lawsuits here, because that was a big point that people were very upset with.
Guys, I literally have like the same shirt. I mean, like, I get it. I'm sorry, like some people genuinely don't have washing machines, or I guess like don't use their washing machines, or forgot that washing machines exist. I don't know. Because I'm going to be honest, I had a period of time in my life where I had to go to the laundromat and it was hell and I did not want to fucking do my laundry. So I get it. But if you have a laundry machine, like a washing machine and a dryer in your apartment, you should know those people can like clean their clothes. I literally have like some shirts, I've got like 4 of the exact same shirt because I just like that shirt, man. I have like 4 of the exact same pants because I really like the pants and they're really comfortable. Like, I have some, like, gym pants like this one. And they're, like, really comfortable. And they got, like, pockets. And they don't have, sorry if this is TMI, like, they don't have, like, some women's clothes will have, like, a seam that runs this way. And it gives you the worst camel toe, man. It's not good. It's, like, it's bad. It's bad. And this one is seamless. So like I'm straight up like I found these pants. I was like, oh my God, like no seam in the front, pockets on the side, fitted with flare bottoms. I need like 4 of these. Like straight up, I need 4 of these. Like they're good. I want more of them. Every time I go to my closet and I'm just looking for casual clothes, I want this pair of pants. I'm tired of having to go and wash them every single time. Center seam in the crotch is malpractice. I'm telling you, like, listen, I am fundamentally of the opinion that like nipples really should be free. Like, I don't think women should feel bad wearing a t-shirt. And like, it's an opaque t-shirt. It is not translucent or transparent. It is opaque. But people find out that you have nipples. Like, that's fucked up, man. Women should just be free to have nipples. You should be free to have nipples. Like, it's weird that people care about that, right? But I gotta say, the crotch seam is like sexual harassment for everyone. You know, like, I feel like I'm being sexually harassed by the pants, and I feel like everyone who's seeing it is also being sexually harassed. Like, it's not good. Like, it's really not good. It's not good. I haven't found a pair that I really like, but these are just like some Amazon ones. When I'm still looking for one that I really, really like, okay? So I'm sorry. Anyways. So I get it. As a fellow NPC that has a lot of clothes that are all like kind of similar, I get it. I get it.
That I didn't extensively cover those as well when talking about the defamation lawsuit. And since I didn't do so and people didn't believe that it was because I didn't know about it, they are accusing me of knowingly avoiding it or even silently championing for those lawsuits, which I find befuddling because throughout my entire time on YouTube, the 18 or 19 years on YouTube, I think I have made it beyond crystal clear how much I dislike this litigious approach to online discourse. And really just this excessive use of the legal system for strong arming or silencing. Like, I have made, I don't know how many videos covering cases even outside of like the internet scope of like, you know, sometimes the legal toilet paper flying back and forth, but like just in general, like the willy-nilly lawsuits that fly around from like corporations attempting to bully people too. Like, I don't know why anyone would think for a second that I would be avoiding talking about that or agreeing with it. Why would I?
No, I think if he agreed with it, it would have been a slam dunk video and it would have been really easy content. This is just my opinion, pure conjecture. You can say cope-seethe, bald, whatever, I don't care. I think it's just a bad place to be in when you actually don't support some random copyright infringement lawsuit, but you also don't want to deal with everyone calling you a white knight and a simp for saying that like some random ladies online, I don't know why I said ladies, some random women online are being sued. Like, because then you're just going to get like a cavalcade of hate and like a shitstorm coming your way. He was just, this is my personal conjecture and opinion. I think he was just waiting to see how it would all shake out. And if it shook out in a way that was pro fair use, I think he was going to cover it then when it was completed. And if it didn't, I think he was just going to like try his best to not look at it because it's kind of like a shit show.
I never have in the past, so why would I start now? You just don't like me, which is totally fine. I get it. Not everyone likes the old Florida peach. But
why did streamers say ladies like a Redditor? I don't know.
You're just viewing it in bad faith and making that assumption, and it's incorrect. Because the truth is, and this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone, after learning more about those other lawsuits that Ethan is engaged in, like the fair use lawsuits and such, guess what? I don't agree with those either. Now, obviously, I don't know all the nitty-gritty around every single lawsuit. I've only just begun learning about all of these, but from everything I've seen from the lawsuits that he has actively going on, there's nothing in there that makes me think that this is like the right way of doing things, or that this is different from other times in the past where creators have sued each other over disputes. Now, clearly, I don't know all the nuance and intricacies of fair use law. Ethan would certainly know that better than I, and many others would. So maybe he has some strong cases here, and in one of the instances with one of these streamers, it did seem like they were just uninterrupted playing the video without even an attempt to transform it. So maybe that could be like a easy fair use win for Ethan. But I just don't think that's a win overall. Like, for as long as I've been on the internet.
He's so tepid. Aw, he's a little shy. It feels like, you know, like when you're at like a social gathering and then like a kid is too nervous to say anything. So the parent is like, do you want me to say something? What do you want me to say? And they're like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, that's what I feel like I'm watching. He's like, well, I think some of the lawsuits, no, not so good. And maybe some of them are. And I'm just a little nervous. I'm a little nervous to talk about it. I'm just a girl. Me when I feed my ass off in bot lane, I'm just a girl.
That kind of behavior has been frowned upon. And I really think if the targets were different, if it wasn't streamers that a lot of people don't like, the response would be very different to these lawsuits. Right now, a lot of people celebrate them because they just hate the...
Well, I think... Okay. If I would be so bold, I would say that also applies to him. You are not free. You also belong to a society. And I think if you had seen positive coverage of our lawsuits and he was suing people like XQC, or maybe not even, maybe someone less of like a high profile, like if he was suing like CoffeeZilla or something like that, I don't know, like pick a smaller creator of some kind. CoffeeZilla is a pretty large creator as well. But I think if he was, you know, suing a content creator that people mostly liked, I think he would have covered it. I do. I think it's just like choosing to not look into something isn't the same as choosing to look into it and not cover it. But both are choosing to avoid something that you don't want to talk about, right? Which is like, I don't think that there's anything, you know, controversial about that.
People that Ethan is suing. So they go yeehaw for it. But these individuals, like the streamers in particular for fair use, they are a fraction of the size of Ethan. So it's to me, a hard case to make that he was genuinely like losing eyeballs because of them streaming it on their Twitch channel. And yeah,
which is always like which is like something that we've all talked about for a really long time. Like a big part of like the React gate a long time ago with XQC doing the worm was that like he would react to the video, he would add very little, he'd add like fucking 5 minutes or something like that. And then immediately it would get re-uploaded to YouTube with like the same thumbnail, just with XQC's face on the corner and the same title. And then that video would outperform the original video. And his response was like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Right. And that definitely felt like there was maybe like cognizable harm because, you know, like this video got this, it's adding very little. And it's really using like the heart of the original video. And there might be, especially because they're both on YouTube, there might be like some of these views, some of these millions of views might have went and watched the other one. With like let's talk about like Caseytron as an example. It's like, what did, like, first of all, they're different platforms. And I've talked about this before. Like, if you talk to people who go on Twitch and you tell them what's the first website you go on when you wake up in the morning, they'll tell you Twitch. Not every single person. This is just like a random ass litmus test metric that I'm talking about. I'm saying that like Twitch and YouTube are slightly different markets. And the type of people that go on Twitch are a little bit different than the people that go on YouTube. And you'll see this when you talk to random people. Like there are some people that are like strong, like believers of being YouTube frogs. And that's what they are. They are YouTube frogs through and through. And some people are just Twitch frogs through and through. Like they don't want to watch VODs. They want to watch it when it's live. And if it's not live, they don't want to watch it, right? So I do think that there are like a lot of people that do have like a strong preference. And I do think there are a lot of people who, if they watch something on Twitch, we're never going to watch it on YouTube, right? This isn't like an end all be all. This is just like a random ass litmus test, to be very fucking clear, just for a moment. Whereas like the harm might be more evident when they're both on YouTube. I haven't re-uploaded my VOD on YouTube for that. I didn't do that. And I will tell you, like, people like Casey, it's like, what, there were 1,000 viewers that watched her. I don't know what her total viewership was. I'm guessing. I'm just like picking a random number. 1,000 viewers that watch her on Twitch. First of all, you have to prove that those people are people that normally go on YouTube and frequently check out YouTube channels and YouTube content and watch YouTube videos. And then what would be like the fraction, what was the AdSense of those viewers exactly? Let's say that it wasn't fair use completely entirely. Let's just assume that for a brief moment. And let's fully steelman the lawsuits. Okay, like what was that in AdSense? Like $10 or something, maybe? If? Like, it's so obscene. Whereas there is very clear harm when someone re-uploads a video and they added like 5 minutes and it's the same thumbnail and it's the same caption and it's the same title. And then that video outperforms the original video. Like that's like, oh man, we're getting into this weird territory. I don't know. Maybe a court would still find that transformative and it wouldn't matter. Who knows? But to attack a bunch of small creators who like, dude, be real. Like, your video got how many millions of views? Like, yes, Casey really deprived you of views. Yes, friggin' really deprived you of views. It's just like so obscene. Right? And that's why Charlie's saying this, because he knows this. He knows the difference between watching a random stream that's like, has significantly less viewership than like some random video on YouTube. It's like, it's just different.
It is like a big asshole thing for them to do, but let's be real, it's not hurting you, it's just you don't like them, and they don't like you. So this was a way of being able to get a big jab in there, and since a lot of the internet doesn't like them, they get to rally behind you as well, as opposed to start asking the question, why even bother? You already won, again, against that kind of behavior. The internet, from what I can tell, this is kind of post-mortem now since I'm super late to it, but from what I can tell, no one was really on the side of the streamers that were just blatantly streaming it without any kind of transformation or anything like that. So you already won. What's the point in continuing this further, paying big bucks to the lawyer just so you could also financially hurt them to further, get them? It seems like it's less about, fighting a just cause for fair use and more about like, here's some more ammunition. The big one that I've spent the most time looking into is the Denims case because it's the most recent and is being touted as a tentative loss.
That's me. DNM Shake. It's me. Mention this DNM Shake.
For Ethan, which I don't know what a tentative loss really means because it's not an official loss, it's still an ongoing lawsuit here. But the judge had like a very seemingly stern view on it that even cited Ethan Klein's previous fair use victory against him in his suit against Denims. Ethan Klein, a while back,
it was a pretty scathing document, I'm not gonna lie.
Had a landmark achievement in the fight for fair use against good old bold guy Matt Haas, and that ruling was cited here against him in this fair use lawsuit. So to me, that illustrates that
multiple times, by the way,
these lawsuits aren't coming from a genuine place of trying to enforce real fair use and are potentially just coming from a place of revenge. Now, I don't know the intricacies of everyone that's being sued and their relationship to Ethan and the snark community. I don't know, but from everything I've seen in these lawsuits, I just don't agree with going this.
Thanks, Baron. Thank you, Baron von Satan. We will fight to the end, all right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I've always said since day one, I will keep you guys up to date with as much of the lawsuit stuff as I possibly can. And I hope you guys have felt like I have kept that promise. And I hope you guys have felt like I've kept the promise that I will fight as much as I can for as long as I can. And I am doing the best I can. So, and I hope I can give you guys more updates. So yeah, I hope I can give you guys more updates as often as I can. As unfortunately, right now that's just I don't know when the next update will be. We're just patiently waiting to see what the judge will rule whenever he rules it. And it could be anywhere from like a couple days or weeks to months. So, yeah. All right, keep going.
This extremely litigious path. There are very few lawsuits in this space that I think make sense. And like I said yesterday, the one that does is him going after the snarking community that allegedly did send a fraudulent CPS check to his house and human skulls, which apparently is taboo to even mention now for some reason. I got fucking dogpiled for bringing that up, but
the reason he got dogpiled for bringing that up is because the question, you saying that it's like fraudulent is assuming that like no one, when Ethan Klein himself already admitted he doesn't even know who sent the CPS, and he's already admitted that they told him that it was someone that he knew. So for him to just go straight to blaming Snark is like, it's like kind of crazy.
From everything I've seen, that did happen, right? Like I didn't hallucinate that or anything. So like, that's a pretty fucking big deal. That's a pretty traumatizing thing. That is psychopath behavior. So if the snarking community is responsible for that, then yeah, it makes sense.
And then the skulls thing got really weird when Taylor Lorenz posted the photo of like the skulls with like Skulls Unlimited. And like it's a photo of the Skulls Unlimited box on their like counter. It's like, what? But he said it was like an unmarked box that got sent to the studio. And then like the tag literally said like human skull. And it was like, wait, so why did you say it was in an unmarked box that somebody else found, but you sent it to Taylor Lorenz when it clearly showed what it was? Like, I don't understand like what the fuck is happening here.
To go that path, because that is...
And I think the reason that a lot of people were probably mad at the last Charlie, I almost said Charlie Kirk. Every time I say Charlie, I want to say Charlie Kirk video was because when it's so insane to take Ethan at his word for so many things when he's just so blatantly lied about so many things.
Is extremely unhinged, and that is something that should be pursued legally to stop that from ever happening again. But yeah, I honestly am very surprised how many people were so quick to jump to the conclusion that I was avoiding this and lying about not knowing about it. And secretly championing for those lawsuits and that kind of thing. It's so upsetting because good faith is something that's just gone. It's completely flushed down the shitter. Anyone who would watch the video in good faith would be able to recognize, okay, maybe he is telling the truth and doesn't know about those lawsuits, which is why he hasn't included them there. I feel like that would be a normal thing to do, a courtesy to extend, considering I have always vocally advocated against this kind of extremely litigious path in online discourse and online communities. So why now is that no longer afforded the courtesy of, oh no, he definitely...
Well, again, okay, so going back to the CPS thing and the skull thing and whatever, like, if this was all just about, like, the CPS and the skulls and everything like that, like, why wouldn't he just sue directly for that and try and unmask the person who made the original call? If he thinks it was a fraudulent call and that they attacked us, doesn't it make more sense to then pursue that lawsuit when it's actually, like, why is he suing for copyright contributory copyright infringement, right? Like, that's bizarro. Like, what? Because I agree. If you think it was a fraudulent call, a fraudulent CPS call, then you can't make anonymous calls. Last I checked, you can't make anonymous CPS calls in the state of California. So the person who made the call had to give their personal information. And presumably verified. So why not unmask them and try and figure out who it is and then pursue that legally if you believe that it was, and like, can I just say, good luck pursuing that and pursuing someone saying like, and finding, you know, like maybe subpoenaing them or subpoenaing Discord or subpoenaing whatever, to show that they were like, I am making this call fraudulently, right? Like, the reason he's pursuing, in my opinion, a lot of this stuff through the copyright lawsuits is because he thinks it's like he will get a lot of public favor for it. And the people who might otherwise criticize someone doing this won't do it because it's him.
fell back on his principles. He doesn't believe in that anymore here. But I guess, to be honest, good faith is kind of viewed as weakness online. People are far more interested in scalp, far more interested in the spectacle and as much shit slinging as possible. So if it's trying to approach things with a level head, you kind of get attacked by everybody because no one really wants that anymore. So, like yesterday,
I mean, I would say two things. One, in the era of like Trumpism, nobody wants milquetoast takes on things that are very divisive. That's just my I think centrism is a lot less in the, on vogue as compared to like any type of extremist opinions, right? And also, I think that some things are gray and some things require nuance. And I think that there are other things that are just less gray. So when people feel like you're taking a gray stance on something that isn't gray, they're going to get upset about it. That's just like if you have a friend and they beat the shit out of your other friend and you're like, well, it's hard to say what they did to deserve it. You know? What if they were looking particularly punchable in that moment? Like, people would be frustrated, right, about that. They'd be like, dude, no, you literally beat the shit out of me for no fucking reason and said, I'm going to beat the shit out of you for no fucking reason now. Like, for you to, some things are gray and some things are just not gray, right? I feel like I've been pretty darn good faith this entire time talking about Charlie. And I mean, it's not possible to know about the Snark lawsuit without knowing about the not Snark lawsuits, because all of the Snarkers are being sued for contributory copyright infringement, which then begs the question, what's the original copyright infringement? Again, I believe that he knew about the lawsuits and decided, I don't want to fucking look into this. This looks boring. This looks annoying. This looks like a headache. This doesn't even look like it'll perform well. Any of those reasons. But I think a lot of people feel like, okay, I'll be as charitable as you want. I'll be as good faith as you want. I believe you when you say you don't spend all day, all night on the internet. Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. But also, it would be crazy to know about the Snark lawsuits and the contributory copyright infringement lawsuits and then not know about the other lawsuits. And knowing of them and knowing the details of them are different. I don't think he knew the details of them. I think that that's obvious. It's a lot of work. Who the fuck wants to read 70 pages of them comparing the Grand Mufti to Hitler? Bro, it's terrible. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. But that is different from like not knowing anything. So, personal opinion.
I feel like I did a very good faith look at everything. And I spent 3 hours going through like the essentials of what was going on, learning about it from the ground up. And once I did that, then I dove into watching iDubbbz's stream where the lawsuit spawned from. I watched H3's stream and I talked to them and continued to look deeper into it across the span of most of that day. And I approached it, I believe, in very good faith across the board. And in doing so, you will always earn that prestigious title of fence sitter. If you're not extreme on either side of the drama, you are fence sitting it.
I mean, I personally just like, bro, you gotta just tank that shit, man. I get called a fence sitter. Because sometimes that's what I want to do, man. Like, I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't want to cover Grand Platinum. I don't want to. I feel like it's like a shit place to be. It's like, oh, the guy who had the Nazi tattoo on his chest, who probably did some weird, crazy shit in the Iraq War, maybe is being accused of sexual assault. Like, it's not a story that makes me happy to think about. And it's like, yeah, but he champions all of these political positions that are based as fuck. And it's like, okay, I don't really trust that. But I don't want to be seen as a wrecker. So you know what I do? I don't fucking talk about it because I'm tired of hearing about Plattner and I just don't want to deal with it. But I will be honest and say, I don't feel like I can take a strong opinion on Grand Plattner. I feel like it's a lose-lose situation. So, own it. Just like own it. There are some times where you just like don't want to because you feel like it's a lose-lose and you don't feel like there is a good position that you can hold. Didn't you call him a fence sitter? Yeah, I'm saying I do that too, but he's aware that he does it. So I don't know why he's being like, how could you call me this? You know, stop, don't call me this. It's like, no, sometimes there are situations where it's like, I feel like I'm just going to lose. If I call out Graham Plattner and I talk about how I'm uncomfortable by all of these things related to Graham Plattner, a bunch of people will get upset at me and say like, well, you're just being a wrecker and you're going to make sure that like somebody else takes the election who doesn't stand for anything. And it's like, okay. And then when you take the other position, which is like, well, let's support Graham Plattner. Yay. I can't wait to support Graham Plattner. Yay. Then there's a bunch of people calling you like a fucking racist piece of shit and you don't care about actual intersectionality and whatever. Like, there's some shit that just sucks, man. Some shit just sucks. You know? Because I see both positions. I see both positions. So anyways, that's to say, I get it, man. Like, I get it, but you can also just like own it that some things are fucking radioactive on the internet. Mari says it best. I'm glad I'm not a main voter. I don't know if she said it before me, in which case I will give her full credit, but I did say that a couple days ago. Like, I'm just fucking happy I'm not fucking voting in Maine. Because for me, Tom Steyer is an easy choice. I don't care that he's a billionaire. If he's a class traitor to the billionaires, hell fucking yeah. Great. Listen, I've been duped by politicians before because politicians fucking lie. But hey, man, the opposition doesn't look that great. I'm going to take the guy that isn't taking any money from fucking Chevron and Airbnb and McDonald's and whatever. I'll take the billionaire that's self-funding because at least he's not beholden to anyone but himself. He's like, he sees McDonald's send $500,000. He's like, Tom Steyer has donated $500,000 to Tom Steyer. It's like, at least he's only beholden to himself. I'll take the guy that's not beholden to corporations and will do what he wants over the guy who I know will make the state worse. Like, that's easy for me to pick that. That's easy. Like, him being a billionaire is not enough to make me not want to vote for him. Because again, at least he's not beholden to any fucking corporations, right? Careful, that was self-funded argument was Trump's in 2016. Yeah, but Trump also said a bunch of crazy shit. Trump also said build the wall and get rid of all the Mexicans. Tom Steyer isn't saying that. Tom Steyer is saying we should tax the rich people more. People should have health care. We shouldn't be funding all the, like, Tom Steyer is also saying all of the things I want him to say. So not only is he saying all the things I want him to say, he's also self-funding. So he's going to do what he's saying he wants to say, which is the same thing with Trump. Trump is like self-funded or whatever, which he wasn't. But he also promised he would make things worse, and then he did. So like, right? So does that make sense? Does that make sense? Right? But fuck, being a Maine voter, oh my God. I would feel so shit, man. I would just feel so shit having to fucking put down a fucking name on that ballot, man. Moving on. Yeah, like, I think you, and I do think that there are instances where if you give credit to either side, people will call you a fence sitter. And that sucks, but who cares what those people think? They're idiots, right? If you say, listen, yeah, I do think that, like, I don't know, what's a good example? I'm trying to think of a good example of something that, like, you can, maybe something in the past that I've said where I've given credit where credit is due or something. But people will just call you one. They'll just call you one. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Which I think it's a term that's really lost all its luster, because in that video, I think it's a pretty strong stance. I don't agree with Ethan's defamation lawsuit. And I spend 30...
Yeah, the reason people called him, or called you, Mr. Charlie, they called you a fence sitter was because you were talking about, like, this fraudulent CPS call and the skulls and talking about how, like, the snarkers need to get got illegally, legal squashed, right? So yeah, strong disagreement with you on Plattner. You and everybody else, man. Okay? You and everybody else, man. And the craziest thing, too, is I didn't even say anything. I said, I don't like this stuff, and I don't like this stuff either. That's what I said. So, like,
36 minutes yapping about all of my reasons why. And boy howdy, I repeated myself multiple times. I watched it back, and I literally made the same point like 3 times by accident. Like I said, I do most of these in only a handful of takes, so sometimes I lose track of what I've already said. So, like, I really did make it very clear what my stance is, that this is not something that gets 2 big thumbs up from me. But because I also mentioned that iDubbbz stream was a very poorly handled one that I think used a disgusting comment to try and illustrate his point, in that it was a very painful stream to sit through, because I mentioned that, people are accusing me of both sidesing it. You were shitting on iDubbbz for most of the video, actually, which I don't know how you walk away with that impression. iDubbbz himself will also tell you that that was a bad stream, and he is regretful of it. He has publicly come out, apologized for it, and said that that was bad, and that it was too far. But me giving my perspective that, yeah, it was pretty torturous to sit through is apparently, a big no-no. Now, I'm going to go ahead and repeat myself again before getting into the next stuff I want to talk about, because, again, a lot of the drama from this isn't even about my take on it. It's about clips.
It kind of speaks to your point. He doesn't want to be in a position that is less than 90% support. You got some criticism mixed. This is like the most earnest video I've seen from him in like a while. Like a fucking while. I don't think he likes making this type of content, but now he is like, I don't know. Anyways.
Of my take on it without even giving why I think that. So I want it really front and center so that there can be no confusion why I disagree with this defamation lawsuit. So to do that, let's take it from the top, from the start. What started this defamation lawsuit?
It's okay. So I do want to say I don't agree with what's being said in this comment here, but I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed, because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up.
The
other thing too that's like fucked from this is like, when you do it, when you cover a topic that you've only covered for a little bit, you lack a lot of the context of the stuff that happened prior to all of this. And like, I'm sorry, but like, is it okay? Maybe I should just find the tweets before talking about it, because there's this habit sometimes where clippers will post me saying something that is factually true, but then they'll be like, can you believe she made this up, even though it's factually true? So sometimes it's just better to just pull up the original comment. There was an Instagram story from Ethan a long time ago about Anissa having relationships with other people. And I don't want to say more, because then, defeats the purpose of trying to find the clip. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about or how to find it. I think I know where to go. Wait. Maybe here? Hold on. Wait. Here it is. Found it. Like, I think a big reason why a lot of people were frustrated, and I mean this like heart to heart, Charlie, if you see this, a lot of people were frustrated with your coverage because it felt like you ignored all of the previous context of that relationship because you just didn't know about it. Because you assumed that, like, I don't know, Ethan wouldn't lie or something like that. But you have to understand, this has been like a back and forth that started with Ethan initially slinging shit over at Ian. And people are like, well, he's the one who made the content cop. Wrong. Okay. Ethan was already like threatening to pull Lena from Creator Clash 3 before, because Ian and Anissa would not say anything about the skulls in the CPS. That is factually a correct statement. That is the timeline of events. And after the content cop, then Ethan decided to go full shit slinging, and he literally accused, here it is on screen, Anissa of having a relationship with a minor. Here he wrote, they don't deny it. My interest is not about sex. It's about how pathetic you are. Speaking of which, Anissa's previous boyfriend before Ian was allegedly 17 when she was 22. And she literally came out and said, this is a lie and illegal. My ex-partner was a Acadian, and it was a very public relationship. He was 19 and I was 22. You can look up his birthday and when we dated. I'm beyond shocked and disgusted. And admittedly, Ethan apologized afterward. And he said clarified and showed proof he was not 17, so I removed the story, which is not an apology. He just says like, "Oh, she showed that he wasn't." Okay. So like this idea that this is like Idubbbz is just going out of his way to be a bad person and to bully Ethan is like, this is like a month. This is like over a year of Ethan still talking about Anissa and Ian's fucking sex life and dating life, and then accusing her of being like a pedophile and then retracting like 2 seconds later. Like this is a long history of events, right? Like to ignore everything and then just start the story where the lawsuit begins is rough, which like, I don't think that he's intentionally doing that. I think he's just not doing enough due diligence to make sure he's not doing that. Right. Which is like, is hard. I don't trust me, man. That's tough. That's tough internet stuff. Sometimes you just got to cover stories and you got to be diligent about it. Like, what the fuck? Who decided that shit? What the hell? No, Denims. The story started on Dragontober 7. So like, people got frustrated because it like, from my perspective, I will say that part of it was frustrating for me and maybe frustrating for you guys. You guys can tell me if you disagree, because it ignores so much of like the context of like, he has literally been just like smearing them for over a year and like bring on their old coach and then being like, yeah, Ian had sex with this woman, but he didn't have sex with this woman. But it's like, it's just like fucking weird. And what he like pushes back in the most mild way and says like, why don't you want to fucking talk about that? So Destiny says these actually defamatory comments and you're just like silent. You got no words to say, nothing. You're quiet as a mouse. That is fucking insane. That's insane. And then later said, okay, fine, I shouldn't have showed it on the screen or whatever for as long as I did. Like, that's my bad. Sure, whatever. Isn't it not crazy for the lawsuit to proceed when he has made equally horrendous and awful and despicable statements and then retracted them? Like, when there's like shit slinging on both sides, and arguably Ian's shit slinging was just showing like, hey, this is what he said. Why won't you address this? That was the purpose of all those streams. Like, come on. Didn't he also try to say that like you and Anissa were fucking too? Yeah, then this was so weird. They're like, is Anissa cheating on Ian with Denims? It's like, you guys are really, that is incredible. I gotta say, thank you for flattering me and pretending like I got that much game. For sure. Yeah, no, I have crazy game. Yeah, I pull baddies all the time. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not a nerd and a loser. Yeah, for sure. Keep writing that fanfic. So I think that's why people were frustrated, because it's like you're taking, and I don't think it's like necessarily Moist Critical's doing it maliciously. I think the most good faith reading is that he's doing the best he can. But this story does not begin on October 7th, man. Like, there's just all this previous shit. So that's what I would like to say. All right.
Comment he is showing was not made by him. He then goes on to explain what he's actually trying to accomplish by having that comment on his stream for so long as a watermark.
Also, I will say that I think Ethan Klein is terrified of this guy. So it's just kind of like legit. It is to me, it's super funny that he has so much smoke for everyone that he thinks he can bully, but the person that he's fucking terrified, he just keeps very overtly running from. And it's like, yeah.
I think he made this point.
And so, like, this really does feel like a situation where, like, it feels weird to criticize and go so harshly against Ian here, because it's like what he showed, like, something that Ethan is refusing to address because he refuses to ever talk about C. Sampson in a negative light. Maybe it's because of the Dan Saltman sponsor. I don't fucking know why he doesn't want to. But like the other thing too is like this idea. It's like, well, you don't fuck with family. You don't fucking do that. It's like, well, when the roles were reversed and like frenemies broke up, Trisha was like begging Ethan to stop because it was impacting her family. Like these are logs that were made public where Trisha sends a screenshot from the H3 Productions subreddit saying, send emails and tweets to Trisha's sponsors. Don't let her weasel out of this one. And then she said, the cops went to my house questioning her about my stepdad molesting me 20 years ago. And then his response is, you just need to make a statement on the Mr. Riley stuff. You don't get to tell me what I need to do. I've talked about this. I've talked with his family. They were unaware of the report I made as a child. They want it to go away. You don't get to tell me how to handle my sexual assault. This is FYI, not a private chat, so don't assume you have rights of privacy, and I will share these screenshots if necessary. Wow, I am pleading for you to just stop, please. So what happened to, like, you don't involve family in things? What happened to, like, well, you crossed the line once you involve my family? Like, what the fuck? Like literally, like, what the fuck? Like, this is why people got upset with the coverage, because they're like, this is just like a one-sided issue where, like, Ethan's just kind of a bad person. Like, I might be a vile fucking human being and a bitch, but, like, you're just like the world's biggest cry bully. And people have tried so many times to extend olive branches. So many times. I have extended olive branches multiple times. And I'm delusional. I'm like copium pilled as fuck. I think you can always make amends. I think you just need to start immediately, and you can make amends and you can turn it around. But you have to be the one to start. But if you don't want to start, like, what the fuck is anyone supposed to do, man? Like, you just want to be a huge asshole, and you just don't like when people are mean to you in any way, shape, or form, and you're okay with doing things that other people would never be allowed to do to you, which is not okay. So you're sitting there and, like, threatening to pull Lena from, like, Creator Clash 3 and saying, like, I can't believe Ian and Issa won't talk about CPS. They won't talk about it. There's silence. Why won't they talk about it? And when they do talk about it, you don't like what they have to say, so you proceed for the next year to do a fucking smear campaign on them. And then when they, like, make fun of you, you're like, I'm going to sue you guys. Yep, that's it. I'm done. I'm suing you guys. It's like, it's so crazy. So to cover it and be like, well, yeah, this stuff is, like, valid. And, like, Ian's stream was bad. It's like, okay, man. You know? And I get it. It's like, because I think a big part of it is, like, I understand because I've been in that position before where I feel like I need to make both sides feel like they were heard. But sometimes it's just not the case. Sometimes it's just not the case.
Went pretty dog shittily and used a very gross comment for it, which is what I said yesterday, and I still stand.
Oh, and to be clear, when it comes to Trisha Paytas, this is a great example of, like, you don't have to like the person to be against certain mistreatment of them. Like, I would hope everyone, regardless of your opinion of Trisha Paytas, if you hate her, if you love her, she's your problematic fave or whatever, I would hope you agree that, like, her being relentlessly harassed for years and she never even speaks about Ethan anymore, I would hope you would be against that. Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't need to like her personally to think that, like, maybe, like, that's not deserved.
By that, and I said it to iDubbbz as well, the point that he is making by showing this comment on his stream is, look at what Destiny can say and get away with without Ethan's wrath, yet he has smoke for so many other people. Destiny has said something unthinkably heinous, and Ethan isn't going after him, he's going after other people. He must be afraid of him. That is his point with showing that. Ethan has gone on to say that this is significantly more malicious from iDubbbz than Destiny, because Destiny said it in passing and, you know, he was just being a dickhead and disavowed it. But iDubbbz isn't saying it, and he even openly states without any guesswork, without any riddles, and without any sarcasm that he doesn't agree with it, that he doesn't believe it. He is not presenting it as true. But Ethan is saying it's more malicious because Ian iDubbbz did meet his family, meet his kids, and now he has that comment on his stream. And I agree, that is filthy, and it is very low, which is why I'm saying it wasn't a good stream from iDubbbz. It just wasn't, and it's something he admits as well. But at no point in that stream that I sat through did iDubbbz ever try and make the argument that Destiny's comment reflects the truth or is real in any way. He openly says he doesn't agree with it. He is using it to make a point, and he doesn't do a great job of expressing that point super clearly. But what he does express clearly, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, is that he doesn't agree with the comment. So it just doesn't make sense to me why Ethan is super willing to say, like, I didn't mean anything coming from Destiny, but iDubbbz having it on his stream means malicious intent and that it's lending an air of credibility to it. I just disagree because he's never putting credibility into it. Him sarcastically saying that this is a serious allegation that he should really look at is him making the point that why are you ignoring something this gross from Destiny but going so hard on others for much less? And in Ethan's statement, like I pointed out, he does outright say that he had a much better chance of winning against...
I already explained all this, so I don't want to just talk in circles. I want to wait for the rest of the video. I haven't seen any of this, so I'm like waiting.
iDubbbz in Canada because of their laws there being very different than the laws here in the US. So he didn't believe he could actually win against Destiny in the US, but felt he could against iDubbbz in Canada. So to me, that feels like trying to capitalize off lax free speech laws in Canada to get revenge, and using this as a convenient excuse of exacting that revenge and punishing him further for associating with snarkers, as opposed to actually pursuing a real defamation case. Because if it's a defamation case you're only willing to pursue in Canada and not here in the States, then to me it doesn't feel like a defamation case worth pursuing. And people were upset at me for saying that, but I just truly believe that free speech, laws around speech in general, should be very protected, and I feel like the US does a pretty strong job compared to other countries, and I think that should be extended to every country on the planet, to have laws that are strong to protect real free speech. And like I said, if iDubbbz was going around saying that the Destiny comment was accurate, it was true, and promoting it as a legitimate claim that he believed in and used his previous friendship with Ethan as this place of credibility to try and convince his argument that this is a claim that is really got some merit to it, some real oomph, then I would completely agree that wouldn't be free speech, and that wouldn't be protected in the US either, by the way. So in that case, I would get that.
Yeah, the craziest thing about, like, it almost feels like C. Samson is like taunting Ethan Klein because he knows Ethan Klein won't sue him. Because, like, I would argue what C. Samson said was, if it's not approaching defamation, I don't know what it is. Because defamation is anything from, like, malicious intent, maliciously spreading things that are untrue, or a reckless disregard for the truth. And it is a reckless disregard for the truth to be like, yeah, this guy is a pedophile and he's molested, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is a reckless disregard for the truth. You don't care whether or not people take your statements as fact. And now everyone thinks this. You are showing a reckless disregard for the truth.
If he was going around knowingly spreading this fraudulent, disgusting allegation and promoting it as though it were true, then yeah, that would be a defamation case that I would understand. But that's just not the truth of what happened in that stream. I am still just not a fan of extremely litigious avenues for handling the online space. I don't think there's ever any winners in it at all, except for, of course, the fucking lawyers that are salivating. And yes, I do believe this sets a bad example that can open a big can of worms in the online space. Not just with commentary YouTubers, by the way, just in general. People were upset about stifling voices, but didn't bother to hear the entire take. The reason why I think something like this could stifle voices...
Ethan's also suing Noah Samson for defamation. He's in the US. This invalidates Ethan's argument. Whether it's out of ignorance or not, Charlie not knowing that provides cover for Ethan, correct. And I would argue, dude, like, oh my God, I would hate to be a lawyer on Noah Samson's case. No offense to Noah Samson, but like, you basically have to litigate Israel-Palestine in a court of law, like, for fuck's sake. Like, that's going to be so many documents and so much fact-checking and so much... If it passes, like, if he gets through the anti-slap motion, it won't be, I think, that bad. But if not, like, I'm like getting a headache, like because the really cool thing about fair use is fair use does not require that you prove that your statements are factual. It does not require that you prove that what you said is a good commentary of the highest substance. You only need to prove that you did transform the content and that you created a substantially different product. I mean, Ethan Klein's own precedent states this. So now I would argue everything I said is substantiated by fact, but you would have to go through and find articles for all this. You have to find articles showing like the incarceration rate of Americans and Black Americans in this country compared to other countries. And that's like a lot of like sitting down labor and like manpower and lawyer hours finding this stuff. Whereas the really cool thing about fair use is what I said does not need to be factual. I can say like that Hamas gives out 100 presents on Christmas every year to all the good boys and girls, and it actually doesn't matter whether that statement is correct or incorrect. It's about whether or not it was related to the original video and whether or not I used the original video to talk about this stuff, right? They do them on the mailing list. True. Why does free use come up so often? Because Casey Tron made an amazing tweet once and she wrote like, Ethan Klein, the free use king. And now that's all I think about. Yes, I know it's a kink, but oh, wow. Oh my God, let me go get my lollipop. I can't believe everyone tell me it's a sex thing. What do you want me to be, one of those fucking child VTubers? Oh, sex. I don't even know what that is. Wow. Please, stop. Don't make me do this.
Is because if this does become commonplace where people learn from this example that going through litigation to handle issues is the proper channel, people will be less willing to cover controversial stories.
Oh,
like,
sorry.
For example,
I just remember what I was going to say. Arguably a defamation lawsuit, or maybe even inarguably a defamation lawsuit against C. Sampsony would be like cheaper because you're just arguing like one text message, like a couple tweets and a video. Whereas like with Noah Sampson's lawsuit, like you have to sit down and find every single time that Noah clipped you and how he interpreted you and why he interpreted you that way and whether or not his interpretation was defamatory or whether it was protected free speech. Like that's a way more of a headache of a lawsuit.
When you make a video calling out like a potential scam, you are taking a very real risk. And in the case of this, who's to say that company that may or may not be scamming sees that and just immediately goes this path, shutting it down? You are showing this customer's perspective and it's hurting our brand. It's defamatory. We are coming after you with litigation. It would be, I believe, an issue that could be wide.
Well, again, I think that there's a difference between legal precedent and social precedent. I think he would be setting a social precedent by saying like, yeah, if you don't like what someone said and you feel like it's defamatory, sue the shit out of them and hopefully they settle with you. You're giving permission and you're creating the permission structure for wealthy bastards to go and like sue whoever the fuck they want to, and that there would be no pushback publicly against something like that.
Teaching. And other YouTubers that are, in a beef with each other, maybe they do the same thing. Like, you said this about me, or you posted a screenshot of a tweet that was slanderous about me, so now I'm coming after you legally. And then it just becomes a big problem. Like, I'll use a commentary example because I think that's the one people are very focused on. You remember the whole Mr. Beast and Dogpack thing? Well, that was perhaps the biggest payday for tons of commentary channels that latched onto that bosom hard. Tons and tons and tons of videos were being churned out daily covering that situation there. And fast forward a length of time, turns out a lot of the allegations were either misleading or just outright false and incorrect. So should Mr. Beast then turn around and issue a lawsuit to every commentary channel that was covering that saga and siding with Dogpack and promoting the Dogpack allegations as truth and putting them forward as legitimate and real? I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good thing, but he realistically probably does have a pretty strong-ish case he could build for defamation lawsuits against a lot of channels that were actively preaching Dog Pack's allegations as gospel. Titles and thumbnails talking about how he's a fraud and a scammer based on the Dog Pack allegations, many of which turned out to be incorrect. But they were still promoting them as the truth.
Okay, you see what I mean when I say that, like I'm not I'm not that online. The things that I am online about, I'm very online about because I care a lot about those things, right? So like the Kratos thing has been really funny. Like the God of War thing, like I consume the shit out of that content because it's so fucking funny watching all these people talk about this. But I've like heard of things, and it would be weird for me to be like, yeah, I heard of like X, Y, and Z thing, but then I somehow didn't hear about the thing that started X, Y, and Z. Something from years ago. It was the guy who accused Mr. Beast of being an abusive boss. I vaguely remember that. I don't remember any of the details. Maybe we watched a video. I don't remember any of it.
So, should Mr. Beast issue defamation lawsuits to all those commentary channels? And should this end in a victory here and have a favorable ruling in the books for this defamation case? Well, then Mr. Beast could point to, look at that, he won here already, we can use that. I'm not saying that would happen, but maybe it could. It's, again, probably just not best to just have
I don't know this example, so I can't comment on this because I just don't. I remember someone making a video at one point about something like this. And I remember someone saying something like they work really obscene like the videos where it's like, we put two people in a room and then made them try and kill each other. Like some of the stuff is like fucked, but I just don't. Sorry, I think a big reason why I didn't, but see, this is what I mean. Like, it's not that I didn't know anything about it at all completely. It's that I saw what was happening and I was like, yeah, no shit, the capitalist is a brutal boss. Yeah. So I didn't look into it at any point further than that. If that's what he's talking about, because I think that that's what he's talking about. Because there was a lot of like Mr. Beast stuff. There was like the Ava stuff, and then there was like that one lady, like Roseanne something, and then there's like a bunch of random stuff. There's the guy who got invited to the Beast Games or whatever. But yeah, like I'm sorry, I saw like a capitalist being a ruthless boss, and I was like, shocking. Like, yeah. But if someone said, well, you're not looking into it because you don't care about the story, I'd be like, yeah, correct. I know everything I need to know, which is Mr. Beast is probably a capitalist, ruthless boss. Okay. You can accuse me of not looking into it because I don't care enough about the story and I've already made up my mind, but that would be true. That would be a correct statement. In the same way, it's like, he's heard about it, but he didn't care enough to look into it any further because he's like, well, Ethan is like the fair use guy. Surely he knows what he's getting himself into, right?
Ammunition as a possibility. Now, at the end of the day, that's just one Cro-Magnon's perspective on it, and it is completely fine to disagree with it, even healthy. You know what's not healthy is this trend where people don't even watch the video and only engage through select Twitter clips in order to get outraged at and form their whole opinion around the video they didn't watch from. Now, I don't want to just dive into some unhinged takes, but this one actually tilted me, and for some reason I saw this quite a bit. He spoke with Ethan Klein, but not iDubbbz. Pathetic. Like Maximilian Pegasus here. Pathetic, Yugi. If only they watched the video. Because I didn't just speak to Ethan Klein, I also spoke with iDubbbz. And it's right there in the very beginning of the video. Like, it's early in the video. Now, I did also have a brief...
Bro, I don't mean to be this person, but like, welcome to the internet, straight up. People don't even watch my video. My haters don't even watch my videos, man. My haters will be like, oh, so let me guess, you're anti-Semitic. It's like, what the fuck? Did you even try watching the video? Okay.
Conversation with iDubbbz about this as well. I mean, what can you do? I did say I talked with both of them about it.
I literally saw one comment about the tentative ruling that like blew my mind in its stupidity. The comment was like, I think I just read this and it doesn't even say that she is tentatively gonna win on fair use. It just says she could use fair use as a defense and then they'll decide later whether or not it is fair. It's like, it wasn't that long. Like, some legal documents have a lot of legal jargon in them and they are kind of dense to get through. I don't think the tentative ruling was that hard to read. I don't even think it was hard to read. Maybe if English isn't your first language, it could have been hard to read, but like, I feel like if you speak English and you read and write in English, it was a pretty easy to read document. It was written really like plainly.
And yet people are still saying I only heard one side of the story. I mean, really, what can you do? Like, actually, what can you do? It's incorrect, but you're making whole arguments around.
No, I got it. Just come on the stream. Just come on the stream, Moist Critical. I'll clear your name to all the leftists. You got it. You might make Ethan really mad though. All right, but I'll clear your name, bro.
Around this dream you had that didn't actually happen because you didn't watch the video. You just already had a preconceived image of me that you want to ensure stays intact so that way you can continue to not like me. And that's fine. You can not like me. Not everyone likes the fun-sized Florida man over here. That's completely fine. Absolutely.
I want to, because I feel like he could do so much more. And I feel like if he accepted that he was an influencer that influenced people, and I've seen him do it. He's impacted people to be like, for example, like pro women on Twitch before, which was really controversial at one point. Like, he can do it at any point. Like, I think he's just like, I think he doesn't want to like upset people. But like, have some faith in yourself, man. Just be, just be based, forehead. Just be based, man.
But can you at least be right about something that you're not liking me for? Just watch the video first. I just realized I have been yapping for almost 30 minutes. And
I know, dude. I'm so bored, bro. Hurry it up. Come on. People are going to see that and be like, so she steals content and then complains about it.
I already know without even a semblance, not even an iota of doubt, that almost nobody is watching to this point. They've already formed their opinion.
Damn, almost nobody.
And even
almost
before
nobody
clicking
is
the video,
crazy.
or within the first couple of minutes to start fighting on different points, there's no reason to keep going down there. Like, it does feel useless to even like engage with a lot of online discourse.
Correct.
It does just feel useless because it doesn't even matter what the take is. People don't even really care about the take per se. It's just they already have an opinion of you, and no matter what, it's not changing. Sometimes they don't even bother to watch the video to try and shit on you for something that they think you might have said in the video, or
I have like thought about multiple times making like a video talking about how so many people have been tricked by Ethan Klein's nonsense, being like, she explicitly said, I'm going to steal your video. Please let me steal it. I cannot wait to steal it. And it's like, that's not even what I said. That's literally, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, I think. But like, it's so infuriating because it's like, I know I'm going to make this stupid fucking dumb video. And then people are going to be like, keep going. It's literally what you said. So like, I get it, man. I get it. Some dumb fucks on the internet make it really annoying because like, you're making like good arguments. You're doing your best. You're writing everything out. You're fucking cooking. You're frying. You're baking. You're waking, whatever. And then there's always some fucking dipshit that doesn't watch the video. And they're like, actually, keep going.
they saw like a tweet that references the video, and that's good enough for them to shit on you for that, even if it's entirely wrong. So like, it is.
I just arrived. Sorry. TMI.
Not very productive. Anyway, though, just wanted to yap. That's about it.
Sorry, I actually straight up wanted to stretch, and then I didn't want people to clip me and be like, she started throwing it back. It's like, no, dude, my cat fucking stole my chair, and now I want to stand, but I can't make my standing desk stand because I haven't fixed the wires. So I was going to stretch, but it's like, viewership was low, she started throwing it back. Dude, throwback to Valley Girl vocal fry. All right. Okay. Are you bending over? I am. It's actually pretty comfortable. Throw it back Friday. All right. She knows what she's doing. Hold up. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this smug fucking bastard. He's innocent. He's innocent. All right. But anyways, guys. Okay. That's going to be, why am I so far to like to the right? That's gonna be it for today's stream.